allow you to see my ugly face.
Yes,
By the way, I like your hat, so for whatever that's worth,
I do too.
that's pretty cool.
Because we're currently recording.
Okay, so what would you like to talk about?
We can talk about what we talked about last time again.
Last time, what was last time?
It was either that we can talk about conservatarianism, why you think it's really, really good, even though it doesn't work.
Oh, conservatarianism. It's good in theory. It doesn't work because there's too many evil retards on the planet. So
Oh, so it's just like communism. That's the reason communism doesn't work either.
no, even with good and intelligent people, communism doesn't work because it encourages the bad behavior of like rewarding those that produce less and penalizing those that work harder. So that's a no go. It's non-starter.
So you don't think making rich people even richer is also a non-starter?
If you believe in justice, you can't subscribe to communism.
Yes, I agree with that.
So good and intelligent people are big fans of justice. We feel like if you do good, you should be rewarded, and if you do bad, you should be punished. It's cause and effect.
Yes, but who gets to decide what's good and what's bad?
Good and intelligent people, because if we let the evil retards decide it, we would have the world we have now, and so that's why everything is so beyond repair. Is we've let them run the show for centuries, if not millennia.
Okay, would you say Jeff Bezos is a good and intelligent person?
I don't know him personally. I think he's a fan of capitalism. I haven't witnessed him violating any principles of libertarian freedom, so I don't know if he's like one of those authoritarian lizard people or not. But I'd have to do my research before I form an opinion. Also, I
Uh,
have zero knowledge of his moral stance. I don't know if he's like a butthurt atheist or if he's just like the best Christian ever. I don't know. I
well,
don't know
he's
any.
been divorced.
That's a bad sign. If he divorced because his wife committed adultery against him, he has a legitimate reason to divorce
So
her.
he was the richest man in the world, and that wasn't good enough for her, so she divorced him.
Um, Again, if he divorced her because she committed adultery against him, that is the legitimate reason why he can divorce her.
There's no evidence of that. She just wasn't feeling it anymore, even though he was the richest person in the world.
The problem with morality is it's not like a buffet. You can't just kind of like pick and choose which parts you like and then just toss out the rest. It's kind of like a package deal. So like when you sign the contract, you're in for the whole shebang. And so if you don't like the contract, you can just form your own contract with yourself or anyone who's willing to listen. And so what usually ends up happening is called ethics. Remember when I told you the difference between morality and ethics?
Yes.
Okay, so ethics is 99.99% of the time when humans are talking about their feelings about what's nice and bad or laws or even when they start talking about they'll use the word morality and they'll use the word good and evil, but they're still talking about ethics because they don't know what those words mean. So just because you feel bad about something doesn't make it evil. And likewise, even if there's a rule that is defined as good and you can't logically explain why that's the reason, that doesn't stop it from being good. It's not bound to human logic, for example, or the inability for humans to logic.
So what bounds it?
The one that makes the rules. So if you create everything, you get to make the rules. That's kind of how it shakes down.
So if I made a fictional universe
Yes.
and I made a bunch of children
Yep.
and then slaughtered them, it would be fine because I made the universe. Is that correct?
If you decide that the rule is as creator, one of the rules of morality is that the creator can destroy anything he pleases, then that is still defined as good.
So if I made a rule against that, so I make a rule where it says I can't slaughter children in this universe and do so anyways because I have root access to the universe.
I mean, you can contradict yourself if you want to, but then the question arises like, is it your self contradiction that you're bound to, or are you bound to a higher set of principles that even you don't control? So,
Um,
no, so in other words, questioning the Christian God, for example, some butthurt atheists like to say, they say that the Christian God is evil because X, Y, Z. And then they imply that God is bound to humans' definitions of good and evil. So, like this butthurt atheist decided that murder is evil, and so he said, "Okay, now that I've decided that murder is evil, now if God commits murder, then he is now evil." And so, see, now God is bound to this human, this butthurt atheist is his God, and he has to answer to him.
well, that's just an opinion.
Right, right. That's the butthurt atheist opinion, which is ethics. So in essence, the atheist is trying to argue that his ethics are superior to God's morality. So like God is bound to this atheist ethics. And so atheist ethics are subjective because that evil retard just decided that day that he's going to make a rule that says you can't do XYZ. That's his feelings. And so he's now arguing that the almighty, all powerful, all knowing God is subject to him. That God must answer to his rules and say, God, explain yourself. Why are you killing people when I said you're not allowed to kill people? Do you see how that how it works
Yeah,
in
so
their
is
head?
God subject to his own rules?
Again, I'll ask God the next time I see him if he enjoys arguing with himself. Like it's possible that God will say, okay, here's a new rule for all reality, including me, God. Here's a new rule that says that anyone in reality is not allowed to destroy or kill or murder or whatever. And so, if he violates that rule, then the first question would be, who does he answer to?
Himself
Okay,
as a minister of
so
the universe. So
so
if
if
he
he
is,
has,
so
if
let's imagine the universe is a Linux system.
this
So
is way beyond the
if
universe,
he
by the
had
way.
root access to the universe and made a rule not to do a thing, well, he would still have the power to do the thing anyways because he has root access.
We're way beyond the universe, by the way. That's why I said all reality is where this rule applies,
Yeah,
correct?
there's a bunch of universes, but we need
Okay,
to stick with
all the
one. That's where we
universes,
don't confuse ourselves. So
all the
we're just
universes is
okay.
the rule. All reality, even God's universe, and including God himself, he exists somewhere in reality.
Okay.
Okay,
But let's stick with
so
one. Let's stick with
so
one universe, just so
so
we
the
can
question
don't
is
confuse ourselves.
the question
So
is
God
if
will have root access to the universe. He makes a rule against doing something, and he can unmake that very rule. So
okay, let's start with this universe. Okay, so here's where the confusion arises. Okay, so what the butthurt atheists are unable to use their tiny little brains to compute is, um, if you're talking about the context of this universe, just this universe. Inside of this universe, you have these things called, humans and animals and rocks and stars or whatever. Okay, so God created this universe from outside of this universe. So he is outside of this universe. He's above and beyond it. He is the creator. He is the author. He is the admin. He has all the power. He has the source code. He has everything. So no matter what he answers to in reality is irrelevant because right now we're just talking about this universe. Inside of this universe, God can create a set of rules called morality. And he states that everyone inside of this universe is subject to these rules. So you can't lie, you can't steal, you can't murder, so on and so forth. Now, is God bound to those rules?
He has root access, so no, he doesn't have to follow them if he doesn't feel like it.
What if he even does something that appears to be hypocritical? Is that a problem?
No.
So, God does not commit an immoral act or evil by killing humans inside the universe, correct?
Well, that's morality is just an opinion.
No, that's a scientific logical fact. So, God, who made the rules and is outside of the universe, he is not bound by the physical universe. The universe does not control God or rule over him.
We have people who disagree with proven scientific
No.
logical facts all the
No,
time.
see, you're already missing the point then. You're already lost. You've already lost the whole debate right now, just now. Either he created the universe or he's bound to it. Which is it? Is he inside the universe, the creation of the universe, and now he answers to the higher universe spirit God? Which one is it?
I would agree that he's not bound to the
Oh,
universe,
okay. So
but it doesn't mean that morality is objective
yes, it does.
because it's
No,
possible to break the rules.
no,
It's
no, no, no,
possible
no.
for not for people other than the administrator to break the rules. So it should be
Don't.
physically impossible to murder. It should be physically impossible to lie, but it
No.
still is possible to do it.
Okay, don't get confused. Just stay with me one more time. We'll recap. So, if as soon as you misunderstand the context in which you're speaking, that's where you'll fail. Okay, so I made it super clear that we're talking about from God's perspective, outside of the universe, looking into the universe. He can make objective morality true for all universe people. It's objectively true to all universe people inside of the universe, correct?
Yeah,
Okay, don't let that confuse you and make you think that means now that also applies to God, who's outside of the universe.
yeah,
Because when I say objective, I'm talking about in the context of the physical universe.
yeah. Physical universe, I agree.
Okay, so I'm not saying morality is objectively true for all reality. I just said it's just objectively true for this universe and this universe only.
Yeah.
Okay, okay,
So
okay.
all
Okay,
you
so
need to do is explain why it's physically possible to break so-called physical rules.
no, we're not talking about physical rules yet. We're talking about morality,
Oh,
but we can talk about
so
physical
so
rules too.
so morality is not a physical rule in the universe.
No, definitely not a physical rule. It's not a physical rule.
Hmm.
It's a coincidence that it's also contained in the physical universe. That's just a
Okay, so it's
coincidence.
like is there some kind of non-physical universe overlaid the physical universe?
Oh yes, definitely. Gravity, thermodynamics, all that stuff. Those are all physical laws. But see, those are boring. No atheists debate the physical laws
I
because
guess they
we.
do.
Well, you know what
Reds
I mean.
rhetoric debates the physical laws with
No,
flat earthers, so that's
Hank, Hank,
factually
Hank,
correct.
Hank. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. I'm not saying we haven't ever gotten science wrong. I'm saying once we settle the science, we all agree that it's not. It doesn't. It's not dependent on your perspective. It's just objectively true that gravity affects everything. Electromagnetic fields affect everything. Stuff like that.
I don't believe we can claim more than intersubjective at the moment. But
There,
assuming your point of view, yes.
Hank, there is no debate. There's no active heated debates between atheists and religious people about whether or not we all are subject to gravity or that
Yes, there
thermodynamics is
is
is the
multiple flat
same
earth
for.
reflector channels and fire channels, but they do have heating debates such as Red's rhetoric and fight the flat earth.
Okay, well, there are some humans that debate whether or not we currently exist on a flat earth or not, but I'm not going to get into those debates. So I'll let those people debate the important topics. But anyways, so now you're starting to see where I'm getting at. Okay, so remember before when I said I only enjoy the company of good and intelligent people?
Yes,
Okay, let me see if you can take a guess real quick. Do you believe that any good and intelligent people are currently debating whether or not the Earth is flat or round?
Negative.
Okay, moving on. So, it's settled. Like I said, I've been debating butthurt atheists most of my life. So, I've heard all of the Richard Dawkins and Sam Harris's and Christopher Hitchens, all of those, all their fanboy clubs. I've debated them all. And there is no debate about the physical laws. We're not debating the physical laws. We're debating the moral laws. That's the
Okay,
big
so
hot
you
topic.
agree with me that the moral laws are not physical laws? Is that correct?
Again, there are no physical properties to the moral laws. They are coincidentally in the same context. They're in the same parameters, but they're not bound by the same logic or reason or anything like that, or science or physical
So, do you
parameters.
confirm or deny that moral laws are physical laws? It's very simple.
They are not physical laws. They are coincidentally contained in the physical universe. It's only coincidence. That's the only thing they share.
Excellent.
Okay. Okay. So that's morality, which is objective to all universal beings, physical universal beings, and ethics is the shit I don't care about. You guys can argue for eternity, your feelings versus my feelings, and whose feelings gets to win. I don't care. Y'all can debate that for eternity. By the way, how much progress is made with human ethics? Have we decided what's evil and good yet? Like, is it okay to steal? Like, if you're a mega corporation versus is it okay to steal if you're just like a single peasant or something like that? Is it okay sometimes, but not okay other times?
Yeah, if you're the government, you can take what you want, pretty
Oh
much.
yeah, if you're
We agree
government,
to that.
if you're a government, you can kill anyone you want, and no one can even object to it. Because if you say, "Hey, shouldn't we stop killing people?" They're like, "Hey, you shut up, or we'll kill you too." And you're like, "Okay, sorry, 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 I asked." But anyways,
Look,
yeah. Now we're getting to the authoritarian debate versus libertarian governments. So, which one is more moral? Do you think, authoritarian governments or libertarian governments?
um, so which government does God use?
God doesn't. God never picked for us. Oh, unfortunately, He didn't say you should use this government versus that government. He just said,
Yes, he did. He had kings. He had
"No,
kings.
he didn't. No, he didn't." Hank, God had judges. Man said, "We want kings. Give us kings." And God
No, he
said,
did give you kings. He gave you King of the Jews, Jesus.
"No, he didn't." God said,
God didn't
"No."
give us Jesus.
God said, "If you get kings, there'll be trouble. You better rethink that." And man said, "I don't give a shit, God. Give us kings now or else." And God
I'll,
said, "Okay, here's your kings. You got what you asked for."
look,
And,
you
and
agree that God did give us Jesus, and Jesus was the King of the Jews. Is that correct?
are you a Jew? Yes, that is correct, by the way.
Okay.
He's also king of the Gentiles, so it's kind of a
Yes.
irrelevant
So you
denomination.
affirm that God did in fact give us at least one king.
Okay, so if you want to argue the monarchy of God, I am a complete monarchist, and forget everything I said about conservatarianism because it doesn't apply to any future conversations.
Excellent. We made some progress.
We don't need any. We don't need any government in heaven. We don't need any economy, and we don't need to worry about morality. So all of the three foundations are immediately wiped out.
We are excellent. We made lots of progress
Okay,
already.
in the meantime, we're humans on Earth, so what should we do? Pretend to be God and try to pretend like we have Jesus on Earth and mimic that system?
Have we tried that yet?
Oh yeah, we haven't stopped. There's plenty of men claiming to be king, even in the name of God. Do you remember Europe during the Dark Ages? There was lots of men claiming to be kings in the name of God. So is
Yes,
that true?
that's true.
Was that true? Were those truly chosen by Jesus to be kings of each one of those countries?
I don't know.
No, the answer was the Pope. The Pope, who claimed to be Jesus, who he's definitely not, said he'll decide for you. Don't worry your pretty little minds about it. He'll decide who should be king and who shouldn't be. Because popes are totally like God and stuff. Have I ever warned you about the Catholics and to not approach them with a 1,000-foot pole? Because They're dangerous business.
Um, Sometimes I go to a Catholic church because they have like a bake sale or doing Greek food sale.
Yeah,
Other
they
than
have
that, I
pretty
don't really do anything
buildings.
with them. Yeah, they're very pretty buildings.
Their buildings are very pretty, and their funny hats are also fun to watch. But other than that, they have nothing to contribute to religion. What's other than just the
Fish
absolute.
fries. They have fish fries too, so
Yeah,
they're
that
all right.
too. But other than heresy and blasphemy and a bunch of other wonderful words that end in e, that's all they contribute to religion. So I would avoid them at all costs. I would rather argue with devil worshippers than Catholics.
That's great because I'm a Unitarian Universalist.
Okay. But at least devil worshippers are honest, you know. Catholics are worse, but then lie about it. So they're just, I can't imagine a worse position to hold. But anyways, so religion's important. That's where you get your moral foundation. There's no point in pretending you have a society without a moral foundation. Um, so then the question always arises: am I proposing a theocracy? No, I'm not. Even if I tell you the answer to that, what the one true religion is, I can guarantee you, man will screw it up. So even if we tried to form a theocracy with the one true church, man will completely screw it up. So we all agreed a long time ago to separate church from state. It's just a bad idea. Don't ever combine church and state ever. And so once you agree that you'll at least plagiarize the Christian morality and adopt it into your code of conduct, that's sufficient for most Christians. We're good enough with those terms to be friends and neighbors and to do business together and call it a country. So atheists are welcome, Muslims are welcome, Buddhists are welcome, just as long as you don't try to usurp the moral foundation, i.e., Sharia law, butthurt atheism, whatever. It's actually anti-theism. Whenever I say butthurt atheists, I'm not talking about agnostics, which are people without religion. I'm talking about butthurt anti-theism, which are the people who devote every waking moment to like making Christian lives miserable because they hate God and they constantly try to convert people to their religion of butthurt anti-theism.
Oh, like the Atheist Code of Austin.
Like the new atheisms, the Hitchens, the Harris, Dawkins, all those guys.
Dillahunty, is that on your list?
Yep, definitely.
Okay.
Even
So
your favorite space black man, what's his name?
Neil Tyson.
Yeah, Tyson. See, he preaches anti-theism more than he does than about science and stars and stuff. So lately he's been getting less clicks, so he's been trying to play Bill Nye the Science Guy role. But even look at Bill Nye; he's become such a butthurt anti-theist that that's his new religion. He used to be like cool and just talk about science and stuff, but now he's all about hating religion. So that's his new religion.
Yeah, I call them Abrahamic misotheist, which is misotheism means hatred of God
Yep.
because they don't they only have um, apologetics against Abrahamic religions. I mean, if they're challenged by a polytheist, including a Hellenist, they don't have material against them, even though they could pull some material from the Abrahamists and use them. I think that's literally the best they got. They use Abrahamist, yeah, they use Abrahamist material to go after polytheism because otherwise they don't have any arguments of their own. So they have to assume Abrahamism just to defeat all the other gods.
Yeah.
Then they say they hate God.
Yep. And by the way, do you know what the number one source of butthurt anti-theist is?
Um,
Who? Take a
is
wild
it
guess.
Reddit? Reddit?
Nope. Close. It's Catholicism.
Catholicism. Okay.
Catholicism is the number one factory for producing butthurt anti-theists. So basically, humans are forced into this heretical religion called Catholicism, and they hate every minute of it. And they usually end up getting molested or raped by some priests or whatever. And then they use that as the foundation for why God is evil, and therefore their life duty is to fight Christianity at every turn. So that's where most of these angry people come from. Just FYI. Hey,
So I
Jeff.
guess the number three source is
Islam.
uh, Islam. But where's Reddit at? Reddit's probably number two. Then I think
Reddit's just where they congregate. Don't
okay,
don't misunderstand their ideological roots. Reddit isn't really a philosophy; it's just a place where they socialize.
okay.
But anyways, so knowing that, if you avoid all the bad spots, you actually get a head up in life because then you won't be like hating God as you're trying to read the Bible and trying to see for yourself whether or not He's actually evil or whatever. And so, but that's fine. I had a Christian parent and an atheist parent, so I was given the choice of free will to decide on my own what truth is.
I had two Christian parents, and I rejected Christianity on my own around when I was a teenager because of this what's that bullshit called? Oh, creation science. I got pissed during the creation science saga.
Creation science is lame. Here's the quick version for you. Intelligent design is like the best attempt to sound like intelligent from their camp. If you follow Myers and Behe and all those cats, that's about as good as an answer as you're going to get, and they're pretty vague about it. They just say that they don't make hard claims about like the age of the Earth or like exactly the difference between microevolution and macroevolution and stuff like that. And so their main sticking point is that they're just trying to avoid the abiogenesis propaganda, in which again this is where the butthurt anti-theists come from. Is they're raised Catholics, they get molested and raped by priests, and then they go to school and learn that science teaches us that animals change and shit. And then all of a sudden they sound real dumb because they were told to believe that the Earth is 6,000 years old and that God magicked all the animals into existence 6,000 years ago. And so that sounds retarded. And so then they're like, oh, now I'm going to be angry and show these dumb religious people who's smart. And so they go get, bioengineering chemical degrees, and then they think they know all the answers, and they think that uh, 5 billion years ago, some rocks got rained on and then lightning bolted, and that's what started life. And so, first you start with an amoeba, and then that amoeba one day wants to become a fish, and the next thing you know, they're voting Democrat. And so that's how life happened. And so the response to that is the intelligent design movement, who tries to use the watchmaker argument about finding a watch on the beach. That good old Jim.
Yeah,
And so that's about as good as you're going to get in the debate, because there really isn't a debate per se. It's just my religion versus your religion, and
yeah,
there's no science involved. And
yeah.
so
So there is some science. So pretty much
no, there's
the
zero
debate that
science
yeah,
for
the pretty
5
much
billion years ago. 5 billion years ago, we have zero scientific evidence of, so we don't know.
is the issue. So the creation science ends at Noah's Ark because there's an impendable problem that they can't solve called the heat problem. Gus Gibbon popularized it. To have the world flood, you need so much water that's going to literally irradiate the whole Earth. It's gonna turn the whole planet moon.
Have
So
we
without a
discovered
miracle, it can't happen.
have we discovered all the water sources yet? The deep
Yes.
earth caverns and all the water that's
Yeah.
evaporated for the past, I don't
Yeah.
know,
The thing is,
50,000 years.
you can't have as much water as it says in the Bible without literally turning the whole planet into a
Also,
star.
here's where the argument gets
Without a
really silly.
miracle.
This is where, yeah, there's your problem. That's where the argument gets completely silly. So, you're trying to scientifically argue whether or not God can perform miracles.
Well, no, I'm just saying we're just saying that without a miracle it couldn't happen. We're not saying it didn't
You're
happen,
trying
but I
to
was saying it's about science being more because there's a miracle there.
you're saying that if the Christian claim is true, Judeo-Christian claim is true, that roughly 5,000 years ago, Noah's boat happened and there was a global flood, and now the global waters have receded or whatever, and where's all the water and where's the scientific proof? If you're trying to argue that, again, just as God could easily have miraculously created all the water to flood the earth, he didn't have to. He could have. He could have just used the existing water and just, like, pulled it up out of all the caverns and converted all the clouds and the firmament that was in water form into liquid and just dumped it on the earth. I don't know. I wasn't there. I didn't witness it. So he could have done that, or he could have taken a planet Earth that had, let's say, 10 liters of water on the entire surface of the Earth, and then he magicked 10 billion, you know, trillion gallons of water out of thin air, just like he created Adam out of thin air, essentially. Sure, he scraped up some mud, but where did all his bones and blood and all that brain tissue? Where did all that stuff come from? Did it come from clay? You know. So, anyways, he can magic stuff out of nothing and completely violate all physical laws that we are bound to and observe. And therein lies the problem. So, as soon as you try to, like, argue the physics behind it, you're suddenly going to realize you're being completely retarded, because it's like you're never going to find all of the physical evidence, even if you just witnessed a miracle, like just like 3 seconds
Yeah.
ago.
So we're saying that we may not be able to find the physical evidence because there could be a miracle there, but we're just gonna say it appears to be such and such way. So there's
Yeah.
a way that God made it appear to
Yep.
be. It may not be the way God actually did it, but we're saying it appears this way. Here's the narrative for it.
This is
So
why I don't like either side of the argument. By the way, I never take, like, young Earth creationist side in any of these debates, because they're just equally as dumb. But anyways, the reason why is because neither side has evidence for either one of their positions. There is no evidence that rocks became fish and became man, just as there's no evidence that last Thursday God magicked every human into existence. And so, trying to argue either point is very waste of time, fruitless. There's no point, because neither one of you have evidence. And the more you rely on your emotions and your religious beliefs, whether they're against God or for God, does you no good whatsoever. So the rest of us don't care and move on with our lives. By the way, I'm a Middle Earth creationist. I don't know if you're familiar with that phrase, but
Middle Earth,
yeah.
yes, it's Token made it.
So both the old Earth creationists and the young Earth creationists are wrong, and so it's the answer somewhere there in the middle, but we don't know what it is because we don't have enough evidence. So, and we don't sit around speculating all day. We just say, you're both wrong, get over it and move on. And so, the problem with old Earth creationists, by the way, is they're trying to save face, because, again, these guys have to show up at the office on Monday with all these other assholes that constantly preach that they know that rocks evolved into Democrats and stuff like that. Which I know it's not hard to believe. It sounds like it could happen. You know what I mean? Because most
No, the
Democrats.
rocks evolved into atheists. That's correct, right? The rocks
Yeah,
evolved into
definitely,
atheists.
definitely atheists. Yeah, every time they get in one of those debates, they're always trying to convince me that they're hairless monkeys, and I say, "Well, you make a good point, because I feel like I'm arguing with a hairless monkey." So you got me there. But in the meantime, I don't get into those debates, because, like I said, there's too much emotion, and my dad can beat up your dad and stuff like that. So and pissing contests about how big your PhD is and why you own science and you own logic and reason, and you get to arbitrate it to the rest of us peons. But anyways, that's why I said I'm not interested in any of those conversations. By the way, I'm a licensed engineer, so I'm pretty smart. I have a good educational background. I know math and science and chemistry and physics and all that stuff. So,
So are you electrical engineer?
civil.
Civil. Oh, okay.
So, which is the worst kind, because we know everything about everything. Do you know what that means?
Well, it means you're
Okay, so electrical engineers only know wires and electrons and the magnetic fields and stuff like that.
You're a generalist. That means you're a generalist.
Chemical engineers only know the periodic table and how you smush them together. Mechanical engineers only know how things are in motion and why all those wacky calculus equations come out of them. Civil engineers are required to know all the fields in case of a society meltdown in which you are short of any specialized engineer. So if there are no nuclear, rocket scientists, no electrical engineers, no chemical engineers, no mechanical engineers, a civil engineer can cover all of those fields. So we're like the jack of all trades. We have to know everything about everything.
Okay.
It sucks. I wouldn't sign up for it. It's way more information than you'll ever need in one lifetime. But anyways, so whenever they have these pissing contests about how big their PhD is, like I said, it doesn't impress me because I probably know 10 times more information than they know. But just because they spent their entire lives studying this one RNA molecule and they feel like they've mastered it and they know everything there is about chemistry and stuff like that, they still don't understand how complicated it is for one single celled organism to arrive by chance. They can't even imagine the mathematical computations involved for that. And so that's why I said, what's his name? What was the first guy I said? Not Behe, the other guy.
Tyson, not
No,
Tyson.
no, 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 no. The good guy. Behe and who's the other ID guy? ID argument guy. I already forgot his name. Hold on. Uh, who's the guy's always arguing ID? It's
One with the Ark Encounter. Ken Ham.
nope. He's a clown.
Kent Hovind.
Nope, that's even a worse clown. Oh God, who's the Behe and not Dembski, not Johnson, not Wells. Isn't he like the director? He should be at the top. Where's his name? Fuck, it's the one guy that actually has some brains. Oh, what is his name? His name is completely slipping me right now, but as soon as I find it, I'm going to be embarrassed because he's pretty much the one name you should remember to go to. I'll find it for you in about 3 seconds. My Google foo's
James
weak.
Tor.
Nope. He's the intelligent design guy that argues with all the young creationists, but he doesn't argue young Earth creationism. He just argues the science and math and logic and reason part of it.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Dude, this is bugging me. Now I'm going to stop the discussion and find it because it's so... Fuck. I hate it when there's that one name that escapes me and then I have to sit there and dig for it for a second. He's always debating the evolution guys or he used to. That's the thing. He stopped after a while because of, he just probably found better things to do with his time. Fuck. What is his name? Hold on. I'll find it here in a minute. I'm just going to Google for a while until I find it.
Okay.
I'll spend 5 minutes on it and then I'll give up and pretend like he doesn't exist. Oh fuck.
I'll look too. I'm pretty good at Google food.
Math guy ID intelligent design.
Is he work from an institute or something?
He's like one of the directors of it or something. He was like one of the CEO founders of the...
Is it Discovery Institute?
Yeah, the Discovery Institute. Just start naming all of the founders. Here it is. Hold on. What's his name? Hold on. I just found his picture. Picture. What's the name on the picture?
Go over it.
No. Oh my goodness. This is driving me crazy. I can see his
Stephen
picture.
C. Myers, the program director of Center for Science and Culture.
Hold on. I've got his face. I can't get his name. What's this guy's name, for crying out loud?
Click on it.
I'm clicking on him. I'm looking at his face talking, but I can't get his name. They won't identify the person speaking, which is so annoying. Hold on. I'm gonna read the comments. Someone will say his name.
I'll push it through the private chat.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Here, here. I'll send you. Hold on. Ah,
You
Stephen Meyer.
send me the picture, and I'll do a reverse image search. I'll be able
Stephen
to find
Meyer.
it.
Stephen Meyer.
Oh, so I
Stephen
found it.
Meyer.
Stephen C. Meyer.
Stephen Meyer. Yes.
Okay.
So, Stephen Meyer is like the only one you're going to get an intelligent response out of about the whole debate. But he'll even admit there's no real like hot debate because it just boils down to like ideological views, and so he leans obviously religious, and he respects but disagrees with the standard agnostic view of secular science and stuff. The thing he doesn't like is the abiogenesis propaganda. That's his main, pet peeve. And I agree. We shouldn't be teaching children in school that you're hairless monkeys because that creates a whole new set of problems. So
How about hairless states? Because we have the physiology and we have the genetic evidence for
there's
that.
zero evidence of any other organism that humans came from. And no matter how much you strongly feel like there are so many similarities between chimpanzees and gorillas and orangutans and humans, there's also DNA similarities in corn and mushrooms and stuff, but they wouldn't suggest that we came from those either. But so that's the thing
Well,
about
we came from an ancestor that branched into the both of those.
you believe we did. You have no
Yeah.
evidence of that. So
Well, there is evidence that just that matching genes is evidence of it. Doesn't mean
no,
it happened to be
no, it's not
true.
because I just said we have very many similarities between corn and mushrooms, but we don't even remotely suggest that we have a shared ancestor with them either, even
Um,
though they do. See, that's the joke. The joke is they'll sit in one breath say, "There's no way I would ever suggest that humans came from mushrooms or whatever," but then if you talk to them long enough, they'll say, "Oh, actually, we do come from mushrooms because we do have the same ancestor. Whoops, our bad."
my, I didn't say the first thing.
But then they'll try to make it sound like they're smart because they're like, billions of years. We're talking about billions of years. You just wouldn't understand how
Okay,
complicated it
let's
is.
assume there's no evolution. It's impossible. They will have the same designer.
By the
So
way,
we are related. So we are related in some way.
no, we're not. Other than that,
If
we're
they
all
had the same,
physical
if the
beings.
both models are the same designer, that's a relationship.
By the way, that's the whole ID argument is that
Yes.
all you're doing is arguing that we appear to be designed by the same creator. That's the only thing you can prove by arguing that for eternity.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
You can
So
you can
they had to be related because they were designed by the same creator.
Right, and you can feel like Ferraris came from Ford, because they have very similar components, and so if given billions of years, it's quite possible that a Ford Model T will become a Ferrari Testarossa. I mean,
Cars don't breed yet.
well, if they did, all they need is billions of years, and then it's quite possible that that's where Ferrari Toasterosas come from, was the Ford Model T. So see, they're very similar. They have very similar genetic traits. They all have four wheels, and they have a gas tank, and they have
That's
doors and
morphological
windows.
traits. That's morphology, not genetics.
They have steel backbones, and they have rubber feet. But anyways, I think you're kind of missing the point. So, anyways, I get it. There is. It does seem to indicate that there is a core designer. I agree. I don't think the core designer is nature, and you're welcome to believe that um, gravity and water and wind got together one day and decided to design a watch and just leave it there on the beach for you to find. And so you can believe that with your religion if you want to. You can start a new religion that says the ocean created all watches. So that's where we get clocks from.
No, my watch is a Casio.
Right, but see that evolved from the sundial. The sundial evolved into your Casio watch.
Well, I have a Casio keyboard too. So
That,
how would that family tree work?
that was the other branch. See, some of the ancestors turned into watches, but some of the ancestors turned into keyboards. So they have the same origin. It's the same missing link. See, you're trying to do God of the gaps here. You're trying to like pretend like we can't prove evolution because we haven't found that missing link yet. But I know where the missing link is. It was the Ford Model T. Some of them have evolved into Ferraris. Some of them evolved into watches. So just quit being such a religious crazy person. Listen to logic and reason and science.
How did they evolve without breeding?
It's magic. We ain't got to explain shit. We just say evolution did it. And that's all you need to know because we own science and logic and reason. Stop questioning us.
If you say so.
Yes, evolution did it. So now learn your lessons and join our religion or else we'll cut your head off. So anyways, so like I said, we're not interested in those debates. By the way, Middle Earth creationists are also theistic evolutionists. So even if you get 4K video of the entire process, starting from a rock evolving into an amoeba, and then that amoeba turns into a fish, and then it starts voting Democrat. If you have 4K video of the entire process, that doesn't change one bit of my religion in the Christian God.
Okay.
Now you may say, but religious person, didn't you say the Bible said God created Adam from dirt and scooped it up and breathed life into it and used magic and there was no evolution? That's what that account says. I don't take all scripture literally verbatim because I'm not retarded. So if you argue with religious retarded people, that's your choice, but I am not retarded. And so it is quite possible that certain passages in the Bible were not meant to be taken literally. They may be allegory for something way more complicated that you Bronze Age goat herders wouldn't understand even if I explained it to you. So I'm not going to tell you about physics and chemistry and evolutionary processes or what even 1,000 years is. You guys can't even count to 1,000. Why would I tell you how long 1,000 years is?
Well,
What good would
God
that?
doesn't have to tell them. He could just match the information to their heads, so they
No,
just
no,
know.
no. Even if it took 1,000 years for the Model T to evolve into a Ferrari, if you can't count to 1,000, then why would I tell you it takes 1,000 years? You don't even know what that 1,000 means. You don't understand the concept.
God could have made magic fruit that gave them information that they ate it.
God could make magic fruit that would dissipate all free will, and then we wouldn't be having this debate. So we would just all go to heaven automatically as good little robots. But
Yes.
that's not how it shaked down. So what happened was God created free will. He gave us the choice. We chose to disobey God, and so in the form of Adam and Eve, that meant mortality for humanity. But on the plus side, now we know what good and evil is, so we can debate good and evil. So, see, you and I can debate good and evil. If you were a hairless monkey, I wouldn't be wasting my time explaining to you what morality is because you don't have the moral choice to make good and evil decisions. That's the difference between sapience and sentience, by the way. So, if you ever hear humans not understanding that why it's okay to kill birds, but it's not okay to kill your neighbor, because humans possess a soul and they have sapience and they are capable of good and evil. And animals are just sentient, so they're basically like super fancy machines.
Lesser and Malachite, right?
What? Malachi?
Malachite, yeah.
I'm not familiar with Malachite.
That's another tribe of Israel.
Oh, Malachi. Okay, sure.
Yeah, the Bible says told the Jews to kill them
Uh,
by order of
I
God.
I'm not gonna discuss Judaism or patriarchal old laws because it doesn't really apply to Christianity.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Patriarchy old law is proto religion. So basically, God wrote His law on their hearts, and some patriarchs got it, some didn't, and there's a rampant paganism, a lot of just blind agnosticism, a lot of these Tao Te Chings and stuff like that walking around saying nameless is the deep, deep and deep is nameless is the deep. The way is nameless, deep and nameless. And then you got retards over in India drinking beer, getting blasted, saying there's a bunch of gods. There's like 1,000 gods, and mine's got a elephant head. And you should like totally like respect me as the leader of this tribe because I totally killed a bunch of people yesterday, and they know who's in charge now. So here's the deal: white people holy, dark people evil. Now you bitches are our slaves, so because you got dark skin. So we're going to create this caste system where white people are holy, so you serve us and you give us all your money and you give us free labor, and then because Hinduism said so, that's why. Shut up! Give me another beer. So and then Buddha was like, "This is absolute trash. Stop following this garbage." And they're like, "Oh, you're a god." And he said, "I didn't say that. I didn't say I was a god. I just said this stuff is garbage. I didn't say I'm starting a new religion. But humans are evil and retarded. So now you have a Buddhism religion who deified him, and he's not a deity. He never claimed to be a deity. You got all the pagan religions because humans are lazy. They always start with like their favorite, Zeus, Odin, whatever, Thor, Apollo, Mercury, garbage. They usually just worship like trees and stones, and then they start worshiping the sun and stuff like. It's just so lazy, and dumb, and boring. And then, of course, they never actually claim anything. They're not like the sun god spoke to me and said that here's the rules. You're not supposed to do human sacrifices and stuff like that. And because the Aztecs were like, I don't know, human sacrifice sounds fun. Our sun god said, yeah, just go ahead and start killing people. Sure, why not? It sounds like fun. So there you go. There's the history of religion. Are you getting DM'd?
Interesting. No, I DM'd you.
Oh, okay. You DM me. Oh, you're talking to me. You can just say it in voice.
No, I sent you a link.
Okay. I'll check it out. So religion, like I said, all you need to know is don't kill, don't steal, don't lie, yada yada yada. We call those the Judeo-Christian tenets of morality, and so America did pretty good with that. That's all you need, just a set of rules, and then you have morality. Okay, so there's your moral basis. Now, the moral basis teaches you that, again, justice is important. So there goes socialism. Socialism is right out the door. Fuck that bullshit. You can't have capitalism naturally under an authoritarian regime. You can try it. It's stupid. It's just as useful as like a libertarian capitalism. It's just, or not libertarian capitalism. Libertarian socialism. You can have libertarian socialism, but it's also that's super retarded. That's like turbo retarded. But anyways, you can have authoritarian capitalism, but they like bump heads. It's like, why do I need your permission to privately own stuff again? You just stay out of business and we're good. So that's why libertarians always form under a capitalist system. So the two choices are immoral authoritarian socialists, which is about 98% of humans today, or a moral libertarian capitalist system, which is the word I invented called conservatarian. and that's the best choice.
So, what's the most conservatarian country that currently exists?
Currently, I would have to say Milei is headed in the right direction. So Javier Milei just took over Argentina, and so he's ANCAP, by the way. So good luck to that. I hope him success. I hope he pulls it off, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it. But if the best he achieves is just conservatarianism, which I don't think he has any moral foundation, but he may say, you know, I'm okay with the Judeo-Christian stuff, so we'll keep that part. He probably doesn't care about church or religion. I don't know. I haven't asked him lately. Haven't heard any reports on his religious views, but I doubt he's even going to bring it up. He's probably too busy with trying to repair the economy and get the government back down to a manageable libertarian form. Currently, no one else. I mean, like what? Maybe theoretically, you could say that Singapore, Ireland, Taiwan, as long as it's still here, it's probably gonna be gone soon. Switzerland, Switzerland is one of those really goofy ones, but you know they're pretty good on most of the stuff. Even though
Would you say Liechtenstein?
Sure, let me check real quick. Liechtenstein. No, I thought you were talking about Luxembourg. Liechtenstein is. Are they a country? Or is that the one that never makes the charts because they're not a country? Hold on.
It is a country.
Hold on. Let me find.
Mises talks about them a lot. Mises.org.
Spell it Lich.
Yeah, Lichenstein, I think.
Liechtenstein. It's not appearing on my list of countries, so maybe they don't have enough data. Yeah, no data because apparently they're like some sort of CIA underground, you know, ninja country that won't tell the world what they're doing. So how do you know what they're doing?
Because they have their own Wikipedia page.
No, I mean, how do you know how their economy is run and stuff like that? Like, do they publicly publish all their data or something? Or
well, Mises has some articles on them.
Because my lazy go-to cheat sheet is coming up. Zippo. Heritage has got zilch on them.
Well, Mises Institute does have stuff on them. I sent you the article, Freedom and Prosperity in Liechtenstein, a hopping analysis.
They have
it was
rule of
published
law and open market.
February 18, 2020 by Andrew Young.
Okay, they have rule of law and open market, so they're definitely off to a good start. I don't know what their government size or how they regulate stuff goes, so that's also a big issue. So I don't know, but sure,
okay.
we'll keep them on the possible list, possibly one of the good guys. I'll have to go visit there. I'll tell you after I tour there next time, and I'll let you know how it's going. Anyway, so Singapore, Switzerland, Ireland, Taiwan. That's basically your best bet at the moment today. And tomorrow that answer may change because China might wipe Taiwan off the map, and Ireland might double back on themselves because I think they're just riding the high of like they got real lucky with a whole bunch of good business deals all at once, and so nothing ruins success like prosperity. You know, like as soon as you start getting money, then they'll fuck it up really bad. Like, do you ever notice that even with like free money, like countries that have like oil coming out of the ground, all it takes is one socialist to completely ruin the whole system.
Yes.
Every single time. So see, there's proof. There's scientific proof that even oil is not safe from socialists. Socialists can ruin oil money, and oil money,
like Venezuela.
Oil money is like, you know, taking a big bag of money and just dumping it on a country and saying, "Here's a bunch of free money. It's do whatever you want with it. You don't even have to lift a finger." Just
so, what do you think of Mexico? Because I know a lot of libertarian expats like Mexico, especially
dude. Mexico is so busy being run by cartels; they don't really qualify as a legitimate country at the moment. So. If you're in good with the right cartels, then sure you're going to get some really good business deals. But that's not politics. That's a whole different can of worms. But
Well, it's a bunch of microstates. That's on your way.
yeah. So which tribe are you talking about? X cartel, Y cartel, Z cartel. Like which one are you asking about? Because
So
I don't know.
that's small government right there.
Dude, their government is just, for show. It's just a little cardboard cutout of a picture
Yeah.
of a guy
So
smiling.
if a bunch of cartels are running the country, that's you got small government there because you don't have a king.
Yeah, oh, Hank, don't be stupid. You're being dumb. Libertarians aren't arguing for cartels to run the neighborhood. That's not how. We have rule of law. We have moral foundations, Hank. Number one important step is moral foundation. Then you build a libertarian government, not backwards, not the other way around.
Oh, okay.
You don't just have no anarchy and then try to make up the morals as you go along. That's what tribes are for and cartels and stuff. No, 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 no. I'm talking about good and intelligent people, Hank. You see, you keep trying to slip in the evil retards every time I try to make progress, but no, we're not talking about evil retards. We're talking about good and intelligent people who theoretically can pull off anarchy. It's theoretically possible to have anarchy with good and intelligent people. Because what government and laws do good and intelligent people need? Do you have to tell a good person not to kill and not to steal?
I'm not sure.
No, you don't. That's what makes them good. They already know it's wrong to kill and steal. They will avoid that before you enforce it with the government.
What
Those
if you had like a society of really old people and they couldn't kill each other if they wanted to? Would that work?
Saudi Arabia? What
A
did you say?
society of old people,
A
about the 212,
society
to kill each other if they wanted to. Would that be good enough for you?
of old people who couldn't go around killing each other because they're too old?
Yes. Uh,
No, you're trying to excuse morality as some sort of standard as in a physical limitation.
I'm sorry, I had an alarm going off at
That's
two
okay.
59.
I waited until you got your alarm changed. Um,
Yeah.
so you're trying to pretend like having physical limitations somehow makes you a good person because you're incapable of doing evil.
Well, evil wouldn't happen if people were incapable of doing evil.
That's sort of like saying, like, does the guy with no arms, is he a good person because he doesn't pick your pocket anymore? Because you cut his fingers off and his hands off? Is he now a good person?
So you want a bunch of people who's just capable of doing evil, but
Yes.
choose not to for some
Yes.
reason.
Yes. Exactly. That's the whole that by the way, that's the whole point of life. That's why God created this test. But anyways, so while we're here, we have to argue with each other about which ones are best or what we're looking for, what the ideal situation is. So you're probably toying with the idea of like slowly doing away with free will. That's what the communists want. They want to basically like be able to brainwash people or program them with microchips and stuff in their brain and stuff so that they're incapable of disagreeing with the state, and then they can control them exactly how they want, and just make them good little workers and never have bad thoughts or whatever. That's their goal, is to do it that way. We want free will. So I'm a Christian, so I'm not protesting against God's system. He created free will, so I support the whole free will movement. I just want the ones that make the good choices. So like, do you understand what a meritocracy is?
Go ahead and explain it to me.
Okay, so the difference between a meritocracy and a democracy is the claim that the majority is right, or just because everyone voted for it, that's the best choice. And so a meritocracy says that's complete bullshit. The only way good is decided is by actual producing good, like those who actually have skills and abilities and prove themselves to be good people are good people, and that's why
Oh,
we
so
call
it's
them
like a
good.
technocracy. Meritocracy is a version of technocracy?
Meritocracy is more about the core concept. Technocracy is more about, like I don't know all the details. I always forget the definition because I hear it every once in a while, but it's not important. It's not an important distinction. Sometimes they lean on like who has the most advanced technology or who has the best, science and so on and so forth. But that's not necessarily the answer either. Um, Again, merit is one of those things that can be kind of fuzzy to nail down because when you're talking about like morality, for example, there's no way you're going to approach that scientifically. So that requires a whole different system. But you can do the easy ones like you could just pick like math or something. You can say like if math is important to your country, who's good at math, who's bad at math, and so on and so forth. So that's what we have calculators for, by the way. So we know those answers. But only in a democracy would like someone who's bad at math be promoted to like the minister of finance or something, because of because his brother is the president, or he owed him a favor or something like that. That's democracy. Meritocracy would be like, fuck that. If you're going to be the leader of our finances, you have to prove you understand finances and can do math and understand how economies work and all that jazz. So that's a meritocracy.
So would you be in favor of a combatocracy? So if we have like a finance minister will run a contest, and the person who does um, the most books the fastest in the same amount of time will become the chair of finance for a period of time.
Yeah,
The
you can
chairman,
have all
champion.
you can have as many different forms of competition you want. You can do it, just do like IQ tests, or you can do like performance field evaluations. You could just do it based on history. You can like let two separate ministers run two separate provinces, and over a period of 1 year come back and see who actually ran it successfully, and then say history has proven you the winner or something like that. I don't care how you come up with the results as long as they're actually true. And good and intelligent people can figure out the answers. It's not impossible to figure out the answer. It may require some creativity or, some deep thinking, but that's what good and intelligent people are for. Now, if you let the evil retards decide who gets promoted and why, then we're right back to the system we're currently in. So that's why I'm saying that's not helping. That's just making everything worse.
Are you an Ayn Rand fan?
I keep hearing her name, and I keep trying to find some like Cliff Notes versions of what she talks about, because I can't find like a quick summary of everything she really stands for. And so every time I see like an interview with her, and some journalists will ask her, "Oh, well, what do you feel about free will and the value of work and blah 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 blah," and she just kind of like, I like this and I like that. I think the only reason why she even comes up in these debates is because she basically would point out like how completely and evil retarded like communists are or whatever, even though she's like obviously leans libertarian or whatever. um I don't know enough about her to like really follow her ideas, so like if she has never piqued my interest, so like I have never done enough research to form an opinion on her. So
I mentioned this because you sound like Atlas Shrugged, so you may like that book.
I
Or the
I've
Fountainhead.
I saw that movie and I thought it was kind of lame. I was like, I get the point. I'm like, I see
You're
where you're
super
going.
smart. You don't like to read books. Okay.
I've read books all my life, and that's why I'm super smart. Is because I've read too many books. So I'm trying to read less books these days and make better use of my time. Because reading books doesn't make you smart, by the way. Because you can read like leftist garbage all day, and like the Communist Manifesto and all a bunch of horse shit like that. And so you can say, I read books. That means I'm smart. And so that's the pissing contest I was talking about before. Those are the PhDs will tell me how many libraries they have at home and how that makes them smart. And I'm like, no, even if you have a million books and even if you read a million books, that still doesn't make you smart. Maybe you know a little bit more about certain things, but there's no guarantee about that. Anyways, I read books when they pique my interest. When something is so interesting to me that I'm like, wow, I got to really read this guy's book and see what he really talked about, then I'll read that book. But I haven't read any good books lately. So uh, I don't know if Ron Paul wrote any books. I might read one of his
Yes, he
books.
did.
If he wrote a really good book, I'll read it one day. But I've listened to him talk for hours and hours and hours. So I already get the point. I already know what his books are about. So I don't even have to read them. So I'll read them if I get really bored or whatever. But anyways, I would debate Ron Paul in a political debate. That tells you my standards. So, like I told you, I don't debate socialists and I don't debate butthurt anti-theists and stuff like that. So,
So you did not read End of Fed by Ron Paul?
no, but I've probably heard the summary a couple of hundred times in one of the many speeches he's given about stuff. So, you can spoil it for me.
I didn't read it either. But I think the title spoils the book. He just wants to
Oh
end the
yeah,
Fed.
yeah. I'm 100% agree. I haven't read the book and I already agree. We should end the Fed. Definitely, yes.
Yeah, probably.
No, not probably. Definitely. First of all, the first official currency of iphi, which is a conservatarian government, the official currency would be Bitcoin until someone replaced it with a better one.
Like Monero.
No, like Ripple, but with Bitcoin's fidelity.
Okay.
Because you need something that you can like go to Walmart and buy your groceries with, and it doesn't fluctuate so much that like by the time you check out, you don't have enough to buy bananas because you only brought $10 with you or whatever. And so it's got to be stable, but it's got to the open free market is the only thing that controls it. Not
So you'll delineate your currency match with USD, even though the country is using Bitcoin.
no, 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 no. Starts with that kind of standard. Starts with that kind of stability. So like,
I thought they're just priced in Bitcoin.
by the way, I would never use the USD. If you look at the history graph on USD's value, would you say the USD is pretty stable?
Yes.
No, dude, no. Just look at its like just its inflation rate alone, just its inflation rate. But even its like global interdependence, like its global relation between other Western countries. It just bounces all over the place, and it's just like
Yeah, but
nose diving off a cliff anyway. But anyways,
you're
uh,
using like 10 times USD now. It's like 2 times.
you'll notice it was stable until some retards took it off the gold standard. First of all, that was a huge mistake. Also, you'll notice that right about the time that Americans decided socialism was a good idea, bad shit happened. So right around the end of the Civil War, right after Woodrow Wilson said, "Let's try this socialism stuff for real," and then he started income tax and the IRS and all that bullshit. Um, that's when it is like, goodbye U.S. currency, goodbye. So, anyways, we had a good run. But anyways, yeah, I would definitely not. The only reason why the U.S. dollar still exists is because other countries are so evil and retarded that they think that we are the gold standard. They're like, wow, those Americans know what they're doing, but we don't. We're just we're bigger and more advanced than they are, so they think that we know what's going on and that we are the image of stability or whatever. By the way, what's the debt? Have you checked lately of our country?
It's like 32 trillion. Let me double check.
Do you have that much Bitcoin?
No.
Because I don't have that much Bitcoin, so I don't know where they're gonna.
I was hoping we'd just make a debt Jesus and we'll
Yeah, we're just gonna
person and then
we're just gonna pray for a miracle.
yeet them away.
Yep.
So 33 trillion right now.
Yeah, 33 trillion, and it's going up even faster. It's like going up faster than it was before. So now it's up to like $20,000 per second or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember what the current rate is, but anyways.
Yeah. So I think we'll just make a debt Jesus, give all the debt to them, and then yeet them into space. Then that solves the debt bomb.
So the only reason why the dollar is still here is because you have very good intentioned people like Argentina that don't know what they're doing, and they're like, if like Javier. Remember when I said good things about Javier earlier?
Yes.
He wants to replace the peso with the U.S. dollar in Argentina as their official currency.
Mm-hmm.
That's so dumb. But anyways, for many reasons, but other than the obvious reason. But like I said, this is where I would actually agree with what's that dude's name? The other South American that did the Bitcoin thing. What's his name? You know which one I'm talking?
I don't remember.
Do you know which one I'm talking about? It's like one of those South American countries.
Negative.
Hold on. South American country. Bitcoin official. El Salvador. El Salvador officially made Bitcoin their official currency of their country. The president of El Salvador did this. By the
Okay.
way, if you're going to do socialism, he's actually pretty smart. He's using socialism to power and fuel the mining of Bitcoin in his countries, which is actually pretty smart. That's a really great way to make money. It's completely immoral that he's forcing the people of his country to pay for that. But again, in a conservatarian society, I agree with his idea, just not the way he's doing it. I would allow free markets and private ownership of people to make that choice, but he's just using government force to do it. So whatever. Maybe his country will be around for a couple more decades, but anyways, so every country has like sometimes they'll get one thing right, but then they forget the other two or something like that, and that's why no one's getting it right. So that's why conservatarian solves the problem of humanity, because I get all the important stuff right, and then the details don't matter. Like I don't care if you want to debate, in your state whether or not to legalize marijuana or versus I don't know, like heroin or something like that. I'll leave that up to your local province to decide whether or not your local citizens want to debate that or not. Nationally speaking, I want a moral foundation with a small government that its only job is to protect capitalism. That's its only job. So as long as capitalism is protected, it's done. We don't need any more government agents. We don't need any more taxes or anything else. So all you got to do is enforce the borders and the rule of law. So as long
So
as we
how do you protect an ideology?
with border patrol and rule of law.
Oh, because you basically shoot anyone who doesn't
We don't get
act like a capitalist.
we don't have open borders for all the evil retards to move in and take over our country simply by out producing us. So like if there's 10 of us today and then tomorrow there's 200 million of them, then we already lost. It doesn't matter if we're going to debate them or not because it's their country now. So
You can work in your own sweatshops.
uh,
Again,
and then rule of law. So then once you enforce rule of law, that's the end of government. Government has nothing else to say or do in anyone's life.
so they never would they make any more laws, or just we just have these laws? That's
We
we
would
got to
have
make any more.
laws like you can't kill, you can't steal, and you can't lie, and so on and so forth. And so what Americans call amendments, for example, we would probably write those into law. You have the freedom to speak and to assemble, and definitely the freedom of religion, not the freedom from religion, but hurt
Just as long as
anti-theist.
Christianity.
What's that?
Just as long as Christianity.
No, that's the freedom from religion. We have the freedom of religion. That means if you want to be an atheist, go ahead, knock yourself out. You're not going to change our government because
Okay.
because atheists have no morals. They have zero morals. At best, they have lucky ethics. And even ethics is really easy to do away with, even in a court of law. Lawyers are real good at arguing ethics and saying, well, I know the law technically says you can't kill anybody, but what if you just like hired someone else to kill somebody? Then you didn't really kill them, did you? See, I mean, you can argue ethics all day. It's you can argue away anything with ethics because there is no standard. Anyways, so but that's what the freedom of religion is. Means you get to be Christian, Jew, Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu, atheist. We don't care. We don't care. Religion never comes up in the public. If you want to share your religion with your neighbor, that's your free choice. If he wants to listen to your religion, that's his free choice. You can't use the government to sway the argument in either direction. That's not the government's job. It's only to stop your neighbors from killing each other, stealing from each other, and lying to each other, and then you're good.
Interesting.
Yep. Conservatarians are not in favor of theocracies. It never works. Even if it's the one true church, it doesn't matter. Only until Jesus returns will we discuss a theocracy. When Jesus is here on earth, we will talk about him taking over as king. Then we'll change our political views on things. But up until that point, no. Zero. False. No discussion.
But yeah, I think we have really good discussion.
I don't care what pope you bring, how many apostles you think you have. It doesn't matter. Just Jesus. That's the only acceptable answer.
Yeah, I think we have really good discussion. I think we can get back to our date now. It's been like an hour and a half.
Okay. Are we done? Was there any other questions you had?
Not in a moment.
Okay, so now you thoroughly understand what a conservatarian is, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, real quick, tell me before we finish, what is a better position than conservatarian?
I need more time to think of it.
You take 80 years if you need to. Get back to me.
Okay.
You have 80 years to respond, and then if you don't come up with a better answer, you must vote me emperor of your new conservatarian empire.
Are you Jesus though?
No, I said emperor of the conservatarian empire. I just told you if Jesus comes back, he gets to be king. Until then, I'm emperor.
So are emperors over or under kings?
Doesn't matter. I'm the head honcho
Okay.
of the conservatarian empire, mind you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to figure out how to put this on YouTube.
Okay. Feel free.
And
You have my permission.
yep.
You can monetize it and do whatever you want. YouTube, he
Okay.
has my permission
Excellent.
to put ads on it or whatever he wants, and to copy it and send it to all his friends. I don't care.
That works for me.
Okay. Anytime, bro. See you later.
See ya.